It's Jesse from Average Ontario Anglers. Today I'm going to show you 3 combos that I use to catch Lake Simcoe perch. So it's an absolutely gorgeous day in Lake Simcoe. I'm on Cook's Bay right now. It's like 4 or 5 degrees. It feels like spring. Perch fishing today. The bite slowed down a little bit as it usually does around lunchtime, so I thought I'd take this time to show you 3 combos that I bring every time I go perch fishing and have worked well for me. So the first thing you're going to do obviously is drill a hole. If you have a camera, you're going to put it down. Sometimes you get lucky and you'll drop it right on a school of fish. That's great. Other times that's not going to happen. So what you're going to do is you have to call the fish into you. Call them in. If they're like 40-50 feet away, you can actually call them in, and the best way that I find is with a rip and wrap. A rip and wrap is a little lipless crankbait. It's really noisy. If it's sunny out, use something shiny. If it's low light, use something UV, and if it's in the early morning or late at night or at night, use a glow lure obviously. But these things are really noisy, and really when you drop that down, perch are very curious little fish. They'll swim pretty far to check out something that's making a disturbance. Now this will catch perch, small perch, big perch, medium-sized perch, but oftentimes they won't commit to the rattle bait. The combo that I'm using for this is nothing particular that you need, just something that can handle a slightly bigger lure. I'd recommend a medium light or even a medium. This is a medium. This is a 13 fishing Widowmaker, 32-inch medium. This is more of a rod that I use because you do see a lot of pike in Cook's Bay. I use 6-pound braid with a 5-pound leader. And if I hook a pike on this, I feel more confident than if I'm using something lighter. So that's why I use a medium. If I was just fishing for perch and there was no pike in this lake, I just use a medium light. But this calls fish in. So that is the first combo you want because it really attracts fish to where you are. Now, once you get the fish near you, oftentimes they're very finicky, especially if you're fishing on the weekend. There's hundreds of guys and girls out here fishing. So you really want something to finesse them. So my second rod that I use is my tungsten rod. This is a 23-inch light tickle stick, 13 fishing tickle stick. It's the one with the flat tip. Very sensitive rod. I really like it. I just got it paired up with the Shimano 1000, 3-pound fluorocarbon. And what I have on this is a little tungsten. This is a Berkeley Fusion with a little Berkeley whipworm. You can catch fish on basically anything on a tungsten. You can even catch fish on a bare tungsten. But basically what I'll do is I'll use this as a finesse rod. I've had people comment that this is too short of a rod. It's only 23-inch, but in this particular hut, the hole is fairly close to you. A 23-inch is legit the perfect length in this particular hut. If you have a hole close to you and a hole farther away, this is also a good rod for working right in front. So anyway, that is my finesse rod. Again, 3-pound fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon is the key. It's super clear and it's very abrasion resistance on the hole as well. So if you're not using fluoro, if you're using mono, at least use a fluorocarbon leader if the fish are really finicky. This combo catches a lot of fish, big fish, small fish, medium-sized fish. So my third and final combo that I'm going to bring with me fishing, this is my do-it-all combo. It's just if I could only have one combo, it would be this. This is a 28-inch medium light. This is a new Fenwick Tekna. If you're thinking about getting a Tekna for next season, do it. These are amazing rods. They're super crisp. It's more of an inside rod because it has very small guides. I bought 2 of these, super happy with both of them. I've got it just rigged up with a Fluger Monarch, 4-pound braid, 4-pound or 3-pound fluorocarbon leader. This is my medium-sized lure rod. I guess that's a way to say it. Anything bigger than 1/8 of an ounce, but smaller than 1/4 ounce. Lindy perch talker, something like this. It's a good bait. You're usually on Simcoe, you're fishing deep. If you're using lures like a slab grabber like this, if you're using a slab grabber, you're using it oftentimes fairly deep, and it usually is fairly heavy. I don't want to be using that on a whippy ultralight. I want a little bit of more backbone when I'm working the bait. Same with a perch talker. That's more than 1/8 of an ounce. If you're fishing like a jigging wrap, like this is a W5 size, medium light. Don't go too light. You'll lose a lot of fish on a lighter rod. Williams ice jig, that's a classic perch lure. Pretty much a classic anything ice fishing lure. It's a little heavier. You want to use a little bit of a heavier rod. Another lure you can use on this rod is a vibrato. It's a little heavier. You need it. This lure has been working really good for me. This is the VMC rattle spoon. Pretty much like a buckshot rattle spoon, but the rattles are actually louder than a buckshot. Another lure I used today, caught a few fish on, is the Freedom hammered minnow with a little bead on there. These lures, all these lures I just showed you, they're a little heavier, and you don't want to be using something whippy. You want something that when the fish grabs it, you can just set the hook, keep pressure on it, and just pound them up to the surface and get them out. You don't want something whippy. In my opinion, that's just my opinion, I like something more crisp, medium light, just so I can have that extra hook setting power. So basically, call the fish in with a rattle bait. If the fish are very finicky, finesse them in with a little tungsten. And if the fish are just regular and just committing to lures, grab just a medium light and just fish like slab grabbers, jigging wraps, anything like that. Works really good. And if you find fish and you can present a bait good to them, you can actually end up catching some nice sized fish. This is a nice fish that I just pulled up. Nice little jumbo. He slammed the VMC rattle spoon. They got fairly big mouths on them, so don't be afraid to use a bigger bait. Chunky. So anyway, I'm gonna see if I can catch a few more fish. Comment below what your absolute favorite combo is. If you could only have one perch combo, what would it be? Again, mine is the 28-inch medium light with 4-pound braid. So comment below. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you out there on the ice one day.